Welcome everybody, and thank you for taking the time today to review our proposal, which we're entitling Tradie Horizons. Now, we are the three blind mice, Alistair George, David White, and Leanne Kearney. Now, we do come from a range of different backgrounds. I've got experience in business-to-business and business-to-consumer sales. Alistair's experience is based in operations, training, and fleet management, and Leanne's experience is in retail management and human resource management. What that means is that the three of us come from very different backgrounds with very different experiences. That gives us an opportunity to create a more holistic and complete response to this wicked problem, which we believe is going to give us the ability to be more successful as well. Now, this wicked problem that we're tackling is how to kickstart a sustainable, enterprising lifestyle for underemployed youth. A few key things in there that we were looking at is underemployment. So underemployment is very different to unemployment in that there is in February 2017, the ABS reported that 18% underemployment compared to 13.5% unemployment. This means that the statistic is typically being missed when being reported in the media. Underemployment is more about people not being fully utilised. They're not feeling complete or not being able to get enough work to cover their expenses. The underutilisation rate for youth in February 2017 was 31.5%, the highest in almost 40 years and above the level of the recession in the early 1990s. This is again from the ABS in 2017. So what this means is, yes, the underutilisation and the unemployment rate is high, but it is extremely high when we're talking about youth, which we're defining as between 15 to 24. Now, trying to tackle this wicked problem and how to kickstart a sustainable, enterprising lifestyle for underemployed youth, we've looked at what markets and what we can offer and what that really means. So, an enterprising, we're looking at someone that needs to be starting businesses. It's in a corporate sort of a business sort of world. It needs to be sustainable, which means it needs to be ongoing. It can't just be once off. It's got to be something that we can replicate and continue on with. We've looked at that and we've come up with the idea of working with tradies. There are 42 trades jobs listed on Australia's skilled shortage list. This means that there is a real need in the market for this, and that by combining this problem and a real market need, we believe we can put together an actual solution. Now, what we'll do is I'll hand on to Alistair, who will be able to run through our initial BMC, and then he'll talk about our new revised and streamlined versions. Thank you.
Thanks, David. So, first of all, we're going to have a quick look over our initial business model canvas, which we obviously covered in our last presentation. As you can see, it's quite broad. It's got quite a lot of information in it, and it really doesn't narrow down on the specifics of our concept. Putting this together, we really drew on our individual experiences, both professional and personal, to populate this business model canvas. And it really, as a first draft, it put us in a good position. The feedback we got from our peers was generally quite positive. However, one thing we did identify that we really needed to get down into the details and narrow it right down into the specifics of what we wanted to try and achieve. So our revised business model canvas has been developed keeping in mind the feedback that we received from our peers. We really tried to narrow down, and drill down into some of the details and be specific in this version of our business model canvas. Overall, we haven't changed too much. We've ensured that the key activities are linked to our cost structure, and also we've added parents to our customer segments. Obviously, parents have a keen interest in ensuring that their children are set up for the future, and so we thought it was important to include them in this. And the other one we've added is in the revenue streams. We've added sponsorships. We see this could be a good option for revenue. At this stage of the development of our business model, we've had to make a number of underlying assumptions. What we've done here is we've actually listed those assumptions under the relevant sections of the business model canvas that they're applicable to. I won't go through them all at this stage, but our next stage we need to look to answer some of the questions that these assumptions raise. We want to turn them, these assumptions to become facts, which we're going to do through our business research. I'm now going to hand over to Leanne, who is going to have a talk about the research questions that we've developed, and also research design.
Thanks, Alistair. As you can see, we had no difficulty in identifying our underlying assumptions. It's safe to say we had loads, and I'm not even sure we have exhausted all possibilities. However, what was now required was understanding what was critical to the success of our business idea, Tradie Horizons. What did we desperately need answers to in order to proceed with this business model? We clearly couldn't test them all, so we looked at it with a view to understand what could potentially completely shut down our idea before it even grew wings. With some difficulty and holding each question to the test, we identified a top 5 and then prioritised these in order. We believe our most important significant research question is, are trade industry bodies, employers, key industry leaders and unions keen to work together to connect the youth of Australia to a trade qualification? The others are certainly secondary in importance and certainly worth exploring, but the fundamental premise on which we have designed our model rests on our primary question. Whilst undoubtedly still in its infancy, this then leads us to research design, where we defined our target population, Australian youth, and aligned this with the Brotherhood of St Lawrence definition, that is, 15 to 24 years old. Through undertaking both qualitative and quantitative research, we expect to identify the contributing factors that may or may not influence our key partners to want to connect the youth of Australia to a trade qualification. The ontology that will underpin the research is the constructivist approach, which will assist us with how we view the world, whereas the interpretive approach will be utilised to guide us with what we do know and exactly how do we know it. All in the hope of gaining an insight into a youth perspective, predicting what may happen with our business and possibly changing mindset. Cross-sectional data for a selected time period will be gained through data collection methods that may include surveys, interviews, field observations, questionnaires, focus groups, mapping student journeys, case studies and existing empirical research. With the data gathered, we will then be analysing common patterns with responses, literature review findings, and at the same time identifying variables. It will be important then to draw conclusions about differences or even similarities in our findings. So in conclusion, it's clear we are hoping to connect the dots through partnerships with schools, teachers, students, organisations, industry leaders and businesses to encourage students into a trade and illustrate for them that pursuing a trade can set you up for a resourceful life. It is certainly not lost on us, however, that the where to from here now becomes extremely important as we look to take a deep dive into our research design plan in an effort to ensure we explore and exhaust all possibilities with regard to our research questions to determine if in fact Tradie Horizons is a viable proposition to assist in taming the wicked problem. Our wish is that Tradie Horizons gains traction and can connect youth to a trade. We thank you for taking the time to watch, listen and review this presentation and understand that you are a part of this journey when you read of our success. Thank you.